Not like a beep, 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 but it was like, you know how it makes kind of a staticky, squeaky noise when it first picks something up? It did that like 4 times in a row.
Ricardo, I can destroy the nest.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Probably what it is it was going, oh god, we're in an elevator now, there's too constrained, can't detect anything.
Didn't do that? It hasn't done that in the past, though. Oh, good.
Oh, maybe she broke it somehow.
They respawned everything up here, huh?
There are emergency overflow circuits that feed excess power into the local capacitor banks on each tower. If I could
presumably Apollo would have sent more androids down here.
The nest is right in harm's way.
Should have just
After all, they need people
I should have just dropped an EMP in it while I was sitting in the center of it. Apollo, I mean.
Well, see, the problem with that, with these, then congratulations, everything's dead. You're literally in a tomb.
Everything's already dead. Other than the Xenos and a small handful of survivors, and who cares about that?
It might also sort of, you know, I'm assuming that Apollo is required to keep the core going without it blowing up.
Anyway, Tales from a Chinese Studio. It's a 18th century? 1700s, 18th century collection of... Oh, there's a Japanese name for them, but I can't remember... Or a Chinese name for them, but I can't remember it. Of these like very short stories to do not necessarily with folklore in China, but like just strange happenings, you know? So the first one is a guy is meditating one day, practicing Taoist yoga and meditation. And did I do that? Right? Okay. And he hears a voice whispering to him, and he's convinced that it's the spirit of immortality. And so he meditates and meditates and meditates until one day he speaks back to it. Because each time he hears this voice, and one day he talks back to it. And he says the thing that it was saying to him, and it manifests. It springs out of his ear. This little man, clearly a demon, but definitely not but like definitely otherworldly, but still not very large and not very threatening, you know? And he thinks it's this fortuitous spirit. And right then, a neighbor comes knocking at his door, and the spirit freaks out, goes flying around the room over and over and over again, and disappears, and the man becomes distraught. And that's the story, is the man becoming distraught, but with medicine and, you know, meditation, he gets better. And it's like, this is so completely bizarre, but I'm intrigued by these stories, and I'm not doing them justice in the least. I want to be clear about that, because a big part of reading them is the way that the guy writes, or wrote, I guess, technically. Because he was very well learned. And had he done just a little bit better in school, could probably have been a Manchurian.
Well, it sounded like more like the fears were something more of a religious fear, like, you know, Buddhism seeking harmony and becoming one, and being distraught would get in the way of that, obviously.
Not exactly. It's less Buddhism. The edition that I have is the Penguin Classics edition, because the translation there intentionally goes out of its way to include all of the things that previous translators thought were too dirty. And since the majority of the stories have to do with sexuality and, you know, fox spirits and what have you, there's a lot of these wouldn't have come across correctly. In fact, one of the examples that I remember, I like how there's this really like tense section I'm talking about this book I've been reading, but one of the examples that was given,
distracted somehow.
One of the examples that I remember being given. Hold on, are any of those things getting close to me? Kind of close.
I really like how in this area it's oppressive, it's terrifying, it's so hard to see, but there are so many ways you can loop around, it's pretty much impossible to get yourself in unless you're really trying.
Oh, he caught on fire. They all caught on fire. It's probably not good, right?
Being on fire doesn't really hurt them as much as it would hurt.
No, they like fell.
They
like spontaneously combusted and then fell over. I'm a little concerned that I'm taking too long here.
That was kind of disturbing.
I've never seen anything like that in this game. I'm a little freaked out.
Neither have I. That's kind of terrifying, really.
I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure we're fine. This is not the correct direction to go in. Oh, it
might want to.
I guess it is.
Hurry up and do what you.
What's happening?
You got to get out of the place.
Oh, I see.
Purge. Unless you want to be purged along with it.
I see. I didn't see the vent. Anyway, one of the examples, it was originally translated by a guy named Giles in the 19th century in Britain, when Giles had to kind of translate it according to Victorian morals. So one of the examples that was given is in one of the stories, this guy travels into a fairy world and he meets this ravishingly, devastatingly, what am I doing? That's not entirely clear at all. Anyway, he meets this devastatingly beautiful spirit. And... Ooh, this is cool. And in the original, he embraces her because she's irresistibly beautiful, and when she doesn't resist his advances, they have sex. And in Giles' translation... Uh-oh. Yeah, of course they got out. Why wouldn't they get out?
Hell, considering how smart the damn things were, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them tried to sabotage it.
I'm a little curious about something, though. How did they know to leave?
Well, giant arcing lightning everywhere.
There's still someone.
I mean...
The nest probably caught on fire.
Maybe?
I'm sorry, Ricardo.
Anyway, in Giles' translation, what happened was instead they fell to their knees, proclaimed worship for heaven and earth, and got married. So, you know. But the stories are well worth reading if you can find a copy of the book.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
I'm sorry. I fucking love Ripley. Something weird's happening, and she's just, you think? Ripley's the best.
Really?
I guess I can't sprint anymore, huh?
I think this is our big chance. Just go now. We might not have much time. I'm heading down to comms.
Just got this hunch that sprinting is a good way to wind up with a tail through my chest. Hello, Lerminals. What is this photo bucket? Josh Ferratu.
It is a good way to get some tail.
I don't know anything about what you linked, friend. And you linked it quite a while ago, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so I'm going to comms, but I don't know which one comms.
Medical. He said medical.
Oh no, I'm going to medical. He's going to comms, I'm going to medical, so that's... The Systex? No, the SciMed Tower.
Oh, weird. Okay.
I don't get it. What's wrong with what, like, I haven't played PoE and I haven't read a ton of reviews, so... What's the deal?
As for Chinese mythology, pretty much the only thing I really know for sure is that their zombies are very different. Their zombies can only hop around, and they constantly have their arms outstretched with clawing claws.
They're not zombies, really. They're vampires. It's different.
Yeah, vampire.
My source for
They're
that
both
is...
undead.
Cecil also links me to this really great fucking movie. It's like... Oh, it's like Dracula versus the Jiangshi. And it's called Mr. Vampire. I haven't watched it yet. I keep meaning to get around to it, and I haven't really had a chance with all the video stuff I've been doing to get ready for the end of the main stuff in Sleeping Dogs and getting ready to go back to school next week and everything. But it looks absolutely fucking phenomenal. Like, this is the peak of silly horror movies.
Ricardo, I'm at medical. Did you manage to get to comms?
I'm here, but I was too late. Apollo's recovered from the reactor purge and knocked out external comms again.
Damn it. So why'd you send me here?
Plan B, Rip. See, before I left, the system showed us shit.
I don't know why people were hassling him.
I think it's the Inisudora.
Nobody's ever gonna be happy.
That was autocodes to call
Well,
me.
obviously.
Our comms were temporarily open.
I've got to get to it. Is it docking?
No, but it's in a holding position nearby. Head for the ambulance bay. The shuttles are really short range, but they'll make it.
Got it.
Well, there's motion. I'm guessing that's my old friend. I need to play a little more conservatively, I think. Start throwing flares instead of using the flamethrower and what have you. Especially since the game has not been hesitating as of late to just fucking load me down with flares that I haven't been using.
Yeah. You actually can run out of space for flares.
I have. There were 2 of them in the nest that I didn't pick up, actually. It's just funny to me that you mentioned that, like, now, and it's like, yeah, I know.
I
It's just
believe
depressing.
right now, before anything else happens, this is the point where you can go back and explore the entire station without cutting yourself off from anything.
Well, I might do some of that, but isn't there still one security upgrade I need?
I'm not sure. Maybe, probably.
Am I going the
I
right
do
way?
know that you have the iron torch,
Yeah.
so you can cut through like 90% of everything, and you have the gas mask.
I do have the gas mask, and there's a couple places I can think of that I needed the gas mask to do stuff in. But I seem to remember there were security tuner points that I couldn't
Three
get through
places.
yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
So,
there were 2.
Since I haven't found an upgrade to the security tuner yet, it's
Yeah,
nice to see
we're
what happens
getting
to
close to
reception.
the point.
I see
We're-
reports on my terminal.
We're getting close to the point of no return, but we're not there yet.
I like that it detects the flames as motion, by the way.
Yeah, because that is a lot of motion, actually.
But only if there's enough of them.
Yeah.
Well,
It
let's
sort of
poke
makes
around.
sense.
I didn't really stick around because the last time I was here, the place was even more on fire than it currently is. So
Yeah,
this
something about
is-
Watts and a fucking explosion trying to kill you and the alien.
I think his name is Waits.
Well, I don't
Huh.
really care. He's dead now. I can mispronounce his name all I goddamn want. It
Dental.
won't even be awkward anymore.
Eliminate lice before it spreads. I know what that
Well,
used to
lice on a space station would be a real pain in the ass.
be. Oh no, I know. It's just funny. Like, you got bigger concerns. I don't really want to listen to the audio logs right now. I feel like this is not the format to listen to the audio logs in. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you could trigger him and at least let the subtitles go.
I guess.
Really did a number on this place.
Ripley's got some shit to say about the reception area. I like Ripley. She's probably one of my favorite video game protagonists in quite a while.
Oh yeah, she's very well made, very well written, and the voice actress is amazing.
Well, if the gas is hurting you, why don't you put on your mask? Amanda.
Oh, that's not the gas. That's you getting burned by fire.
Oh, is it? It looked.
Yeah, you
Well,
walk too
she
close
made
to
the
the
same
flame-
kind of
flames.
general noise that she does when she's taking gas damage. Am I going the right way? I don't want to go back this way. I recognize this place. This place looks like it's going to be terrible. Again.
Well, hey,
'Cause, you know, it
remember
wasn't
how long it
before.
took you to get out of it? Remember how long it took you to get out of medical before? You'll get to be able to try and beat your record.
No.